Hi everybody and welcome to Simply Scuba and welcome to the Deco Stop Podcast. I'm Mark and I am just alone today. It's only me. If you didn't tune in last week or probably the week before because we mentioned it a couple of times, Sean has a new job. So yeah, he's moved on and it's just me until we can find a replacement. Hopefully I'll be sufficient, but yeah, for the meantime, it's just going to be the sultry tones of my comforting voice to talk about scuba diving and just interesting things that caught my eye over the past week. So starting off with website updates for Simply Scuba, I'm going to go through all these sort of really quickly. First thing is that now it's December. Obviously, everything is very Christmas. So the main banner is going to be for the gift ideas for all sorts of different scuba divers and free divers, all that kind of stuff. So if you are looking for a gift for another scuba diver or gift ideas that people are asking you for gift ideas, what do you want for Christmas but you have no idea, head over to there. There's all sorts of bits and bobs. It ranges, promise me, from like small little bolt snaps to like limited edition regulators. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything. On the front page, if you just go to simplyscuba.com and you scroll down a little bit, there's sort of 8 tiles, picture tiles, and then you get sort of different price brackets. Gifts for him, gifts for her, gifts for technical divers. Yeah, but otherwise you can filter that fairly easily. New things on the Simply Scuba website. So the first thing is a few new bits and bobs from Mares, the Italian brand. The Mares X-Wing Pro. So these are freediving fins. They're long fins. They've got a very sort of modern, sort of techno fish style tip, but they are tapered elastomer. So they're plastic, which just makes them a bit more tougher than the sort of carbon fiber ones. So these are quite fancy. I quite like the look of these. I'm hopefully going to get a pair to do a video on them soon. But yeah, if you're into your sort of free diving, yeah, these are quite sexy. We also have the Mares magnetic connector. So now this is new. We've had magnetic clips before, and yeah, they're basically 2 fairly powerful magnets with some kind of attachment point on either end, and they just sort of stick to one another. This one's a little bit different though. You get a small little metal section that actually screws onto a D-ring. So that's always fixed onto your D-ring, and then you have a separate section that you attach onto your gauges or your octo, whatever it is. And because it's magnetic, when you're trying to put it back, it automatically kind of seats itself and then clicks itself back in. Obviously, if you have a compass on your gauges, it's probably not the best idea because you're going to be swimming around in circles. But for like octos, I mean, I remember back when I used to teach in the swim pool, students always used to struggle trying to put their octo back into position when we're doing the exercises. And the same happens for sort of normal divers. You do your giant stride entry and your octo pops out, and then it's a real faff trying to actually sort of stow it back into sort of where it needs to be. But with this, it just automatically seats itself because it's magnetic, and it doesn't just pull free like a lot of traditional magnetic clips. You actually have to pull back a little collar, I think, and then you can release it. So I think that's quite clever and something that you should check out. Again, something I'm hopefully going to get a video out in the next coming weeks. And also the Mares Sea Friends. So this is a relatively new product. It came out about 2 years ago, give or take. This is basically a mask and snorkel and fin set for kids. There are 3 different versions. You either get the purple, it's like a squid or an octopus. The bag is shaped like an octopus, and then you get a mask, fins and snorkel sets that fit in it. So if you're trying to get your little ones into the water, yeah, you get the purple octopus. There's like a blue whale shark and a green turtle. So they're quite good fun. As far as offers, we have one special offer that's running at the moment. There is another one that's going to go live, but that's probably going to go live next week. But the one that is currently live is the 15% off of the Paralens Vaquita dive camera. very nice dive camera. So what it is it's shaped like a torch. So I always call it a torch in my sort of videos. But it's a underwater camera. It's kind of like a GoPro style camera, but shaped like a torch. So you can mount it onto your mask. You can mount it wherever you want. But the really clever thing is that it has a built-in depth sensor. And what the depth sensor does is a couple of things. The first thing is that as you're diving, as you're recording, it can actually put your depth and your dive profile on the actual video footage, which is kind of funky, a little bit different. But also it has dynamic color control, so that actually adjusts your sort of color grading and your white balance as you get deeper and deeper. It kind of removes the blues, so you don't have to do that afterwards in sort of After Effects or something. It's very clever and very intuitive. It's very low maintenance after the fact. And we still have our extended returns period. So if you buy anything from the Simply Scuba website, you have up until the 16th of January to return it. It's just for gifts, basically. We want to make it as easy as possible for all of you to buy stuff from the website, knowing that you have plenty of time, so that after Christmas, they open it up and they try it on. Oh no, it doesn't quite fit. Okay, it's not the end of the world. You can still return it. We're not going to punish you or anything. So you have a couple of weeks after Christmas to get it back to us for an exchange. Moving on to social channel updates. Now these are going to be a lot quicker than Sean's. So the first one is YouTube. Not much. You're not going to sort of notice too much of a difference now that Sean's left. He filmed a whole bunch of stuff, and we basically have a few months in the bag, basically. So you're not going to notice too much of a difference. I'm going to be editing my own stuff in the meantime, so hopefully you won't notice too much of a drastic change in sort of style that quickly. But no, in the next coming months, you shouldn't notice too much of a difference. We have changed some things around, but they were always going to happen sort of moving into the new year. We like to kind of mix things up and sort of make things better, basically. Instagram, again, for the sort of near future, you're not going to notice too much of a difference, but you might start to see the frequency of posts slowly start to drop, and the sort of focus change, just because I don't really have time to sort of edit and do this and do that, as well as all the sort of Instagram and social media stuff. Podcasts, that shouldn't change at all. You're listening to it right now. I'm not going to change the frequency. I'm not really going to change the overall setup. But if you do want to sort of hear me talk about anything else in particular, or do you want to mix something up, let us know down in the comments on YouTube. Moving on to Scuba News. Scuba News that sort of caught my eye this week. So the first one is a turtle has been found off the coast of Wales, I believe, and yeah, they believe this is a casualty. It is alive. It is alive and well. It was quite poorly when they found it on the beach of Wales, but they believe it was Storm Arwen, which sort of brought in sort of all of this cold weather into the UK the previous week. But these turtles, it's a Kemp's Ridley turtle. They're normally sort of hanging around in the Caribbean, but they reckon that it was basically blown over the Atlantic over to Wales because of Storm Arwen. The BDMLR, they quickly sort of rushed to the location, sort of scooped it up, and yeah, so nursed it back to health. They took it to Anglesey Zoo to sort of nurse it back to health, and hopefully they're going to be able to return it to the Gulf of Mexico. But yeah, it was basically a local family. They were just going for a walk on the beach, and there are no vowels in this. It's CLY, which I know is technically a vowel, WD, so Clwyd. I'm going to say Clwyd. Yeah, when they first sort of spotted it, they thought it was dead, but it did sort of start to move. So yeah, they called the BDMLR and they rescued it. It's basically a really small pretty rare and actually very endangered sort of species of marine turtle. So it's actually sort of critically endangered on the the ICUN. So yeah, they're quite keen on nursing this thing back to health and getting it back to where it should be. But yeah, overall there have apparently been 72 of these turtles recorded on the sort of UK mainland since 1748, when this turtle database has been created back in the 1700s, and only 72 have ever been spotted over here. It's pretty rare, but yeah, I just thought that was quite interesting and nice to see the BDMLR in some sort of mainstream media. The next one comes from the Amazon, and this one, I think it's mainly Greenpeace who are talking about this, but because of the recent COP26, around the same time, there's a bit of a gold rush in the Amazon rivers, and yeah, there's just these floating barges that are just stacking up across the sort of parts of the Amazon River, and they are just trawling because they're all sort of hoping for gold, and no one's really doing anything about it. It is illegal dredging, but yeah, the Brazilian police are just kind of yeah, we're aware of it, but they're not really doing anything. Hopefully something will sort of start to sort of wake up and get done about this. But yeah, just the environmental damage that could be going on. Who knows? It's just this free for all at the moment, and yeah, none of the authorities are really doing anything to stop the illegal mining. I don't know what to do about it. It's a long way from home, but yeah, hopefully if we can raise awareness on it, at least we can yeah, hopefully stop it. The next thing is, it's obviously December, and we're going to see this quite a lot in the news. I think I've already seen about 3 or 4 of these, but the first one that I spotted is that Santa Claus has been spotted scuba diving in a sea life aquarium. So this is quite a common thing. It used to be sort of later on in the December period, but now as soon as it's December 1st, it seems to happen because it's a little bit fun, to be honest. But yeah, you're going to start to see this a lot in your news feed. So the first one that I spotted was Sea Life Orlando. They had 2 of their divers, one dressed as Santa Claus, one dressed as an elf. They usually go in for sort of cleaning and all that kind of stuff, but now they're turning it into a sort of a marketing show as such. And yeah, you can sort of go over, I think it's once a day, it could be more, but yeah, it's basically for sort of kids and guests to see Santa sort of scuba diving in one of their tanks, which is a little bit of fun. But yeah, expect to see that a lot in your sort of news feed, and yeah, probably nearby where you are, there's probably going to be a scuba diving sort of get together. There's usually 1 or 2 sort of around at the local dive sites here in the UK, where a whole bunch of divers dress up as Santa Claus and go for a scuba dive, sort of either on Christmas Day or leading up to Christmas Day. Yeah, it's just a little bit of fun. Just do be careful, especially with sort of hats and beards and sort of things covering up your regulator. Do be careful, and stuff does end up sort of floating off. And yeah, make sure you still have access to all of your equipment when you're wearing the suit. So BCD over the top or whatever. Moving on, Fourth Element have announced a win your wish list. I'm seeing this more and more on different websites, where you can sort of set up an account on their website. If you go to fourthelement.com/win your wish list competition, each of the win your wish list are separated by a hyphen, and yeah, you can set up an account on their website, and you can go through all the different sort of gear and whatnot, and you basically add whatever you want to your wish list, and one lucky winner up to the sort of value of £500 they can win whatever you put on your wish list. So yeah, good luck. You basically have to go to the website, set up an account, add all the bits and bobs onto your wish list, and then down at the bottom there's like a little form that you fill out with yours. I think it's like name and contact details, and sort of hit enter, and you run the opportunity to win your wish list, which is quite good fun. I've seen it on a few websites nowadays, and I mean, it's all a marketing ploy, obviously, to get you to browse through all of their wares. But yeah, it's nice, and you do win the chance to win anything from you can get a wetsuit and a few other bits and bobs, full set of new undersuits. They have their clothing range, they have their new knitwear, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely sort of worth checking out. And whilst we're on the topic of Fourth Element, that was actually my product of the week, talking about the Fourth Element Xerotherm Drysuit undersuit. So Xerotherm is kind of the... I don't know, the way I see it is it's almost forgotten. It's that kind of middle child, because you have the J2 base layer. Everyone knows what a base layer is. You put it on first, and it keeps you warm and dry and all that kind of stuff, but it's not really thermal. You have the Arctic, or like the Halo 3D or whatever, and that's your insulating layer. And everyone kind of forgets about Xerotherm, which kind of sits in the middle. They have thermocline, but thermocline is a bit like a neoprene alternative. You're meant to wear that when you're wet. You can wear it when you're dry, but Xerotherm is basically basically halfway between a J2 and an Arctic. It's a thermal base layer, so you're basically supposed to wear Xerotherm instead of J2, but underneath your Arctic. So basically, not double up, but boost your warmth. You could wear this basically in the summertime just by itself, because it is a little bit thicker than the J2, but not as thick as the Arctic. But yeah, it is a base layer. You're meant to wear this against your skin, so it's very soft and comfortable on the inside, but the main insulation is going to be from whatever you wear over the top of it. So if you're still diving this time of year and you're starting to feel a bit of a cold sort of coming on, especially when you're diving for longer periods, then Xerotherm is definitely worth checking out. It's Xero with an X, so Xero therm, tops and bottoms, so you can sort of mix and match different sizes, and they're quite long as well. I quite like to wear it sort of outside of the water. When I was sort of walking my dogs at like 6 a.m. and the sun hasn't warmed anything up yet, but it's that thermalness, so it's a little bit extra, and it does sort of keep you nice and warm. And moving on to this week's question. So this week's question is what was your funniest experience while scuba diving? I have a couple. Well, I have quite a few, but there's two that spring to mind. The first one is I must have been a dive master at this point, and I was doing some open water sort of qualifications with a pair of instructors. My primary focus was on, it must have been an open water course, and we had finished the open water divers, but the instructor who was teaching the advanced open water divers, they still had one more dive to do, and the final dive was a DPV, a diver propulsion vehicle dive. So if you ever get a chance to jump on one of those dives, do it. So yeah, I went on this dive, and we all have our DPVs, our little scooters, and the plan was it was a freshwater lake dive, and they have submerged platforms at different stages. The plan was to go down to a 7-meter platform, make sure everyone's gear and everything was sort of working correctly, everyone was happy. The instructor would lead and basically do a anti-clockwise circuit of the dive site. There are a few sunken like sort of shipwrecks and stuff, artificial wrecks for us to see, and yeah, just that was the dive basically. And so we'd all got down to this platform, and everyone was okay, and the instructor said, "Okay, everyone follow me," and he sort of led the dive. And the first buddy pair, they sort of followed him, no problems. And then there was another buddy pair. One of the buddy pair sort of continued on and followed really easily. But the final diver, I was at the back, just sort of sheepdogging, making sure everyone was okay. And yeah, this final diver, he was stood bolt upright on this wooden platform, holding onto his DPV, and he'd obviously emptied all of the buoyancy from his BCD to like sort of get down onto this platform, but then hadn't readjusted his buoyancy, so he was very negatively buoyant, and then he was just holding onto this DPV, just both triggers held down, just but of course not going anywhere, and he was just expecting the DPV to do all the work for him, and I was just sort of hovering back there for a moment, just watching this poor guy just hold on, for just praying that something was going to happen. And just quick gesture, just just adjust your buoyancy, and then off we went. So that did make me laugh. And anyway, that's it for the podcast. Let us know sort of any sort of changes that you might want down in the comments below. Don't forget to sort of follow us wherever we are, because we're on a few different sort of platforms. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it through Spotify or iTunes, wherever it is, hit that subscribe or follow, whatever it's called. If you can, rate us and sort of comment wherever you can, because that just helps us rank. Definitely head over to our Instagram. It's at simplyscuba, and sort of check out whatever's going on with that. Of course, head over to simplyscuba.com, because that's where most of the sort of the new products are going to sort of start to show up, and all the interesting stuff. Any new sort of deals and things as well. If you head down to the bottom of the front page, you'll be able to enter your email address, and you'll get an email as soon as we get any sort of new or interesting deals. We try not to add too many emails. We try not to spam your inbox too much. We usually try and limit it to about sort of one email a week. At the moment, it's going to be a lot of gift idea stuff. So if you are struggling for anything, sort of just sign up for the emails. If you are looking to buy anything from the Simply Scuba website, we have a few different buying options. We do have Klarna for sort of certain items. Just makes your life a little bit easier. You can split up your payment options. We also have Adyen, which just helps to protect and encrypt all of your sort of valuable information online, so you're buying a little bit safer when you're buying from simplyscuba.com. Head over to the 2 Minute Foundation as well. You can check them out on Instagram, but they also have a website, because they do a lot of great things about cleaning up our local environment, and you can help out as well. As the name suggests, it's basically taking 2 minutes out of your morning commute or your dog walk, whatever it is. Take that extra moment just to sort of have a look around and collect any trash, because in a lot of places, no one else is going to do it, and it's not really beneath anybody just to sort of pick up some stuff. Obviously, be safe if it's anything nasty, do sort of help to clean up your local environment, and everyone will be happier for it. If you have any questions, comments, queries, or even corrections, let us know down in the comments below on our YouTube. Try and use the hashtag AskMark if you want myself to sort of chat about it in front of a camera. If you use the hashtag AskMark in your comment, it just puts it right up to the top of our list to actually mention it. But every Friday I'll talk about those, and I always like to see any questions and even corrections, because I do get things wrong from time to time, and it's important to learn from them. But anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in and listening in. Same thing's going to happen next week, but if you want any changes, let us know in the comments. Thank you for listening, everybody, and of course, safe diving.